Hey there, my name is Taylor. This is Hack& Company at RE/MAX River City. We got all the teammates here because we are talking about May market statistics. In May, it's actually been a really interesting time in real estate in the greater Edmonton area. Probably some of the most exciting real estate we've seen in quite some time. I have to say that sellers are, there's less tiers when it comes to things like their evaluations. There's more showings, there's more traffic, there's more interest, there's more excitement, lots of multiple offers. Really, this is a big change from what we've seen over the last 5 years. Let's break it down a little bit because we're seeing a lot of kind of different experiences happening in the same market. You can see even houses down the block from one to the next are like hot or not. I kind of want to give an indicator here that most people would really understand, and that's how long from one of these signs going up to one of these sold signs going up. I'm not sure that everybody knows this, but on our sold signs, we have two. On the side that faces the driveway where our clients are going to be coming and going, we say it's sold by nice people. And the sticker on the other side that faces the neighbors says that it's sold to nice people. We want everybody to have and get to the right place where they can build great communities. And we want you guys to save yourselves and save your friends from 3-star experiences in real estate, because you're looking at all the Hack& Company teammates, and we are #1 on Rank My Agent for the entire greater Edmonton area for delivering great client experiences. So let's break it down. Kim, when we talk about signs going up, like days on market is measured from the moment that we call like day zero. And if day zero is new to you, that means that you're probably not on the Pro Tools and getting these listings right when they're listed. And then it goes all the way to when that sold sign goes up. So for a time period there, it's probably not as accessible to buyers because those are pending. But really, when we talk about that as being days on market, what are you seeing right now?
Yeah, so over the past few months, it's continually decreasing. So as we see going into March for all residential, it was 33 days. And then just in April there, it was 37 and continually decreasing. So really strong still, continually in that trend.
Just shorter and shorter. Like really, that's a stark contrast from last year, hey?
Yeah, almost half. So last year at this time, we were 66 days on market. So now we're at 33. So half days from what we were seeing last year.
And so when we talk about the average property on the market, since most pending periods are somewhere between 7 and 10 days, like they might be here for only 3 weeks where you could buy them, hey?
Absolutely.
And that's not even the good stuff. Like who here has had a listing in May that went out on opening weekend? What did you have that was hot? Erida, what did you sell on opening weekend?
I sold a duplex over in Paisley, a half duplex.
Oh, that's fantastic. Tony?
We had a probably like a handyman special in Sherwood Park that went on opening weekend, and a 2-story in Clare-Batten.
Oh, the 2-story in Clare-Batten. What was the neighborhood for the one in Sherwood Park?
That was in Sherwood Heights.
Oh, wow. So Sherwood Park is really exciting right now, but you may not expect the same result in Clare-Batten, hey? Like the north side is not noted as being quite as hot as some of these bedroom communities. That's a good win, man. Bradley, what did you put out?
I had a 2-story in Laurel, 2-story detached, and it was gone on opening weekend.
That's fantastic. And Kim, how about you?
We were actually out in Fort Saskatchewan. I had a 5-level split in a mature neighborhood there in Pineview. Yeah, we were ambitious with this one, and it went pending on day one.
That's fantastic. I know that you were fresh from another opening weekend win out west of the city too, right?
Yeah, out in Spruce Grove there. So we went into multiple offers on that one on opening weekend as well.
That's incredible. It's neat to see the difference that teams are making in real estate, because here everybody has a position. Like when one teammate lists a property, another teammate might already have a buyer in their pool that they can match up to that. And it's really neat that way. Did anybody have one of those power plays this time in May where we had a buyer to match up to a listing?
I did actually. I brought the buyer to Tony's listing that he was just talking about in Sherwood Park there, and interestingly enough, it was an unconditional offer on opening weekend. So not something you see a whole lot of, but it's starting to happen.
Wow, that's awesome. And we really appreciate you bringing that extra value to our clients because, like, most of the time they get one agent, and here you can see everybody that powers these experiences. Is there anything else that we can see from days on market? Like, I think that there's some property types that are probably having some different experiences.
Yeah, so leading the way is still single detached homes. So for the month of May, we were seeing 28 days on market. So still down from April there was 30. And then right after that, duplexes and townhouses are still doing very well. We were seeing for May 32 days on market. In April, we were at 35. Condominiums, they are still they're doing better than they were. We're at 48 days for May, better than April. We were at 54, so trending in the right direction for them as well.
That's fantastic. I think that that's the news that those condos really need to hear right now, because it's kind of hard to say like real estate is awesome. Real estate is awesome. Kind of for you, I guess. But sometimes that's might be how it feels when you're not one of those properties that's like dinging off the market. But definitely better than it was. Like, 48 days now, 77 days last year. That's a big hop. Well, that's awesome. When we see days on market starting to decrease like that, it's normally an evidence of like where demand is sitting with supply. Now, we measure demand versus supply in real estate by calculating something called months of inventory. Imagine taking all the properties that were on the market last month and dividing them by the number that sold. You would see how many months it took to run out of them if we didn't get any new listings. What that reveals is where buyers are relating to sellers. And really what you need to remember is 3.5 months is about where balance is. Erida, what's happening with months of inventory? What can you see as how we're doing, especially compared to last year?
Yeah, definitely. So for May, the months of inventory is 2.7. So it's pretty hot, especially compared to last year when there was just over twice the amount of months of inventory.
Wow.
But yeah, and then just a month before May, it was actually hotter. And then the last month before that was hotter than May too.
Okay, so basically we're still doing really well by comparison to last year, and it's still trending to the seller side. That's great news for people that own property because obviously that means that their property is gaining in value. But what we're seeing is maybe there might be a little bit of a shift here. I know that we're getting near the time that we kind of transition from that spring market into that summer market. Now, the market is ruled by families with kids. Families with kids are the biggest group in the market. So when they have trend changes, it affects everything. And the kids are kind of in and out of school right now, but the big like time when everybody knew they were coming out of school is coming. And that's now going to coincide with what we expect to be Alberta unlocking. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to impact our months of inventory because there's people right now that don't want strangers in their house. Could that be why we have such good demand as related to supply? Now, when you're out booking showings, like I know that you have been showing a lot of property. Like I think that last week you're probably in about 50 houses, eh, Erida?
Yeah, definitely a lot.
Calling 10 listings now. How many are pending when you call 10?
Majority of them.
Still the majority? How's everybody else feeling on that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The majority that I'm calling are, pending, or sometimes it's even sold. They're a day behind on that. So it's definitely an overwhelming time for a lot of people.
Man, and
I think I was seeing closer to like
even
I was seeing like
behind that.
I was seeing like 7 or 8 before that would be pending, and now it's probably closer to like 6 or 7.
Yeah, definitely it's been changing a little bit. So Tony, you're saying that even though it's still the majority, it's actually petering off?
Correct.
That's awesome. Kim, what are you seeing?
Yeah, same in the same direction. A little bit less stressful. I finding with some buyers, depending what you're buying. I mean, if you're buying, a condo, a little bit less stress for buyers. If you're buying duplexes or a townhouse, a little bit less of a stress than those single family detached homes. So still, when I'm calling, a lot of them are pending, but just a tad less stressful lately for buyers. I'm finding.
I think that there's going to be so many families that welcome that because they really want their house to sell, but man, are they nervous about missing the one and lining them up. Have you guys been helping families move house to house? Do you have any families that are homeless now?
No.
Okay, that's good news, because that's one of the things that we want to make sure is that we're able to clear this, because I think that's one of the biggest concerns. And I don't think as many people know that the most common client that we help is somebody that we help buy with us and sell with us so that we can manage that transition. And that's a really key element. The other thing that I don't think many people would notice is that you guys are all talking about both selling property and buying property. Like, isn't there any buyer's agents here? No buyer's agents, hey? That's something that's interesting as a contrast, because I think that in most teams, there would be like one listing agent and a whole bunch of buyer's agents, as opposed to someone who is invested in the growth and then a whole bunch of people that are client serving, because honestly, it makes you a better listing agent to work with buyers. Hands down, right now, you guys are closer to the pulse of the market, just given the fact that you're seeing both sides. And I love that. So thanks for talking us through months of inventory. Really, when we see the months of inventory start to be as tight as it has been, like, I know that it's a little bit easier than it was a couple of months ago, but it ends up putting a lot of pressure because a lot of the properties that are coming to the market are gone. Bradley, when we say sales to new listing ratio, we're kind of measuring what's coming versus what's leaving in the same month. What are you seeing? Like, where are we at this year compared to last year?
This year compared to last year, where it's quite a stark difference. Last year at this time, we were seeing like 40%. So for every 100 homes that was hitting the market, 40 of them were gone in that same time period. Whereas right now we're up at 64. So we're seeing more homes leave the market than we are seeing join the market every month. So, and that's kind of continuous throughout just about all residential. We're up at 77% right now for townhouses and duplexes, which is actually leading the way, which coincidentally they were last year as well. They were the only ones that were above 50% at 51. And single family homes are right behind, with, condos are struggling a little bit in that sense. They're at 43% right now. So there's still, a little more coming to market than what's selling. But compared to last year, they were only at 25%. So they've almost seen a 100% increase like year over year. So, in a sense, everybody's kind of trending in that right direction.
Oh, that's good to hear. Like, honestly, even just that the condos get a little bit of good news coming in this market, because the jump up from 25 to 45%, that's a significant move. Probably the biggest improver maybe year over year. And
Absolutely.
That's what we want to see. Now we're starting to see some trend differences. And what I mean by that is that, like, last year at this time, I know duplexes were just kind of as hot as they are now, but nobody knew about it. And this year, they're leading the way for the amount of them that are being sold as they enter the market. I think that would be a surprise to most people out there, that duplexes are as hot, if not hotter, than those single family dwellings that seem to be getting all the news. I also think that it'd probably be interesting for the average person to kind of see the flow, because it is pretty quick, and you definitely have to be there fast. Is there anything else that you guys are noticing when it comes to, like, how many properties are hitting the market versus how many are leaving?
Yeah, it's definitely, it is decreasing. It feels like, every month you're kind of looking for more places and the list gets a little shorter. But, overall, I think Kim had mentioned something about, like you said, not everybody is fully aware. So sometimes it may seem, a little easier to some because the sellers aren't quite aware of what they have and what kind of demand it's dealing with.
Yeah, that was something that I was finding interesting, because Kim, you were out taking a look at duplexes recently, and you said it was an easier go than expected.
Yeah, it was quite a pleasure working with my buyers that were looking for duplexes. I guess a little bit less. I felt it was a little bit less stressful than some of my buyers looking at single family detached homes.
That's interesting to me. That might mean that some of these duplex owners don't know what position they're in. They don't know that, like, the attention that they're getting could lead to better results, maybe not even sticking to their guns. You get some deals on those places, or you pay list price?
No, we're still, we're doing our market research and getting them at the market value. Haven't went over list price in any of the ones I've been out with, but.
Wow, that's fantastic. Thanks so much for helping those people understand what those prices are. Because there's like 3 prices in real estate, right? There's like the list price, which is what the seller wants. I don't know what you're like as a buyer, but as a buyer, I'm like the guy on Price is Right. That's like, hey, Drew, I'll bid $1. I want it for the lowest I can get it for. And then in between there's going to be like, well, you know what? Somebody else might get it if you don't pay this amount, like that market value, or maybe if we own this property tomorrow and you had to sell it the next day, if you buy it here, we can get your money back. I think that that's really important that way. So thanks for touching a little bit on that. Now, when we're seeing a big flow from one side to the other, and we're talking about position, meaning duplexes versus houses, and understanding really like how a buyer is experiencing your house. Do they feel pressured? Are they worried about missing the one, or are they worried about paying too much? That's what's driving price. So honestly, if you own a single family residence in the greater Edmonton area, you're going to be excited about these averages. Like last year, total residential in Edmonton, $353,000 was the average price. This year, it's $401,000. Like, way to go, Edmonton. And then the other thing that we're seeing is the breakdown. So the breakdown is $465,000 is the average sale price right now for houses, those single family detached stuff, and that's up from $412 last year. Condos are still making, like, there is a big change in average price, but I have a theory and I want to know what you guys think of this. So condos average price is up, but we understand that there's still only like one buyer for every two sellers. So why is their average price up if there isn't really much demand? They went from 204,000 last year to 241,885, almost 242 this year. What are you guys seeing?
Townhouses.
Yeah, man, those townhouses are like the next best thing to a duplex, hey? So a lot of people are really feeling the movement here as these duplexes being some of the highest demand. Kim seems to know the cheat code there. She's getting deals on duplexes, but other people are so nervous about getting one that they're off to buy townhouses. And that means that maybe some of their buying power could have been, instead of distributed towards condo fees, could have been distributed towards paying for a nicer place like that duplex. Because a lot of people don't see how it works. Like if the average condo fee is $350 through the greater Edmonton area, well, if you divide that by 50, what you're going to see is $7. And that means that $50 per month, I'm not a mortgage person, check with yours, but will get you about $10,000 in buying power. So what we're really seeing is they could spend $70,000 more money while keeping their payments, or how the bank sees it, relatively similar. So we got some trusted experts to connect you with regarding answering questions like that, because we want people to make great purchases. And I have to say, if we helped you buy a duplex 60 days later, you should be laughing all the way to the bank. So when we also take a look at median, what you need to know is right now in our market, just as many houses under 425 are selling than over 425. When you see condos, the median there is 226. Those duplexes, the over-under is 340, and all of Edmonton, if you're looking from outside Edmonton, the over-under is about 375. So taking a look at where that is, where the average price is, and where it's heading, we got a whole bunch of excitement here. And this kind of reveals a little bit about what's hot and what's not. Tell us more about it, Tony.
Well, super hot properties right now are fully finished single-family homes with front attached garages, especially the ones that have bonus rooms on the second level and main floor dens. People need more space right now in these properties in places like St. Albert Sherwood Park, or some of the more mature neighborhoods in Edmonton. Some of those neighborhoods that for these types of properties are sitting around like 95 to 100% of those listings selling. So pretty crazy to see as families are looking to take advantage of the sale of their past home and looking to put that into a new place. And then when we're looking at cold properties, I wanted to kind of zero in on two segments of the condo market. So we're looking at condos between 200 and 300,000 in all of Edmonton, St. Albert, Sherwood Park. We're seeing that we're like one buyer for every 20 sellers. And it's even worse than that for if you're looking in the 300 to 400,000 range. And so that's pretty significant to see.
That's got to be pretty good news for buyers. Like right now,
very good news.
The deals you can get on condos in Edmonton, and I'm wondering, like, what I'm hearing through North America with other markets that are heated, that caught heat earlier than we did, is that this stuff is actually getting really interesting for them, because see how the townhouse market is starting to lift, and we're seeing it affect all the condos. Now that June 1st is passed, we're into that stress test that affected a lot of buyers in the marketplace up to like 5% of purchase price. So the people that would have bought townhouses yesterday, what are they buying today? I'm wondering what that's going to do to the or to that single level apartment. Like, just to give you an idea of what's normal. Normal in the greater Edmonton area for a single level apartment is like a 900 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and the condo fees are 300-esque. Depending on where you move that, it gets bigger or smaller, depending on how much of the value is made up by location. But those properties are some good pickings right now in Edmonton. They're the last part of the market to catch heat. And if the market continues to be as attractive as it is, we're definitely going to expect it to grow. And if we get some net migration here, this is actually probably going to be the most undervalued part. Now, is there anywhere that you're seeing that's too hot? Like, is there some people that like, hey, if you're looking for this, just know that you're going to have to pay through the nose for it?
I would say that properties like that would be like places in Sherwood Park or St. Albert that have really great locations. So backing onto parks or green space cul-de-sacs, but also acreages. I would say acreages between like 4 to 750. You can't, if you're not there on the first week, you're likely going to miss out. And there's a lineup of people, like you'll see lots of places with backup offers right now there.
Wow. So this is like a trend I think we're all experiencing, is everybody's looking for a little bit of lower density. Like the people downtown seem to want to move to the suburbs. The people in the suburbs seem to want to move to the bedroom communities. And the people in the bedroom communities are like, I saw a person yesterday, I got to get out of here. And they're taken off to acreages, right? Is that where you're moving these people from? Yeah, we were just talking to somebody, like Aaron and I were just talking to somebody yesterday. It's like, I got to get out of Sherwood Park. It's like, wow, it's so interesting. It's like we're low density lemmings. We're all kind of running towards the sea. So that's an interesting perspective. What else are you guys seeing out there? What's the hottest thing that you've seen lately? What's the over multiples that you've run into that you were surprised at the actual price they got, or the property where you showed up and maybe there was a lineup? What is the hottest thing you've seen?
For me, it's definitely those single detached homes in Sherwood Park. It's like anytime you book a showing there, you're going to be fighting your way through a lineup of other agents to try to get in. It's just like it's crazy out there.
I'd say renovated bungalows in St. Albert and Sherwood Park. Lineup of people, it would be uncommon to see less than like 5 or 6 offers on opening day.
So if you had one of these like real tip top listings, right? If you have something that doesn't need construction, a lot of people are really interested in that. Construction might be changing in value right now, but in most people's minds, it is like to go to Home Depot is like going out for dinner now. Like they like even to walk in the store, they're like, can we afford to be here? What if they know? It's really changed there. So they're really sensitive to anything that needs to be changed. So if you have something that we would call like the 10iest, like a 10 out of 10 location in a cul-de-sac backing onto a park or water, and it's also of its property type. So if you've, whether it's a 2-story being at the high end of its size range for that kind of style of 2-story, or those bungalows, and then on top of that, having that condition where they don't need any type of work, that stuff is just dynamite right now. Like, honestly, I would be worried for somebody who is listing that without knowing how to manage it. Because like, if you're not dragging the opening weekend and setting up coming soon marketing for that, really the fact that you get all the potential, and this stuff is going to be more available, mark my words, in the next quarter and the quarter after that than it has been over the last while, because downsizers are coming. Those people that were afraid to have strangers in their home because they were at the age where they were told to be extra cautious, those people want to get the heck out of here. It is their market. It is a seller's market. And we're going to be driving this home because we have a downsizers event coming. It's on June 15th, and you're going to see everybody who's on screen right now, along with expert after expert, talking about that really important transition where you have to make sure that you maximize the value. But also, I think that the biggest thing that we talk about with clients is stress management, right? How do you help these people be in a great position and make great decisions that they're going to be proud of afterwards when they feel so much pressure? So we really want those folks out there that they might identify as the silver sneaker crew. You know, you folks that are thinking about bringing these properties that you've known and loved for so long to the market, we want to see on June 15th. You can find this virtual event everywhere that we are. But as you guys are kind of walking out of May, what are your closing thoughts? So, you know, to buyers and sellers, maybe to one, maybe to both, what do you want everybody out there to know?
Don't rely on the public tools. Make sure you find an agent that can help you fine tune a search for you so that you don't miss out on the good stuff, because it is going quick.
How many people have got phone calls from people who were super excited to see one of the listings that you had, but you were telling them it's already gone? Everybody?
Yeah.
A lot of head nodding right there. So if you're working with the public tools, know that there's a group like the people that we serve that are going to find the house that you want and buy it before you even know it's available. So like really, we're super fast. We get there on day 0. And if that's news to you, I agree with Tony. Definitely, if you're a buyer in the market, get to an agent, get the pro tools, find the way to get the win, because other people they've already been through this for a week or two. They kind of have they're kind of ahead of you that way. Anybody else got some messages for buyers and sellers out there?
Definitely, you know, still while things may be, you know, headed into that summer market, maybe a small lull compared to the spring, it's still, you know, time to be proactive rather than reactive. It just plays into that speed again. It really is, you know, the market for those who are ready and prepared beforehand and, you know, can make the most educated decisions right up front. Those are the ones who are going to beat this market.
I would totally agree. I think having market prep right now is so important. Like to make an offer without knowing what other properties similar have sold, what the tax information is on this, all the information that you can verify from public sites, calculating what they might owe off the mortgage, like that's standard equipment here. And really, there's so many people out there that are working with information from 2 months ago. And if you were working from information 2 months ago, you're going to make an offer $10,000 under the market on a single family detached dwelling based on what I see average price trending on. So like talk about like setting up to miss the one. And then the other thing is that if you're taking the same strategy as a seller, you're going to give your house away, right? Like we'd be super excited to see some stuff, and we have seen some stuff that's like, wow, that's sharp, you know. And right now, as long as it gets good marketing, it's going to get a crowd, and that's really what you need to get that multiple offer situation. Anybody else got some messages we want to send out to the public?
It's just super exciting out there right now. So if you're a seller or a buyer, yeah, it's just a really exciting market. If you're thinking about buying or selling, connect with your, you know, professional and get on your way.
Yeah, Kim, you and I have been working together for a few years, and it definitely the most exciting market that we've seen, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very exciting.
Now, I'm incredibly old, so I can actually tell you that this is the most exciting market in Edmonton since oil was over $140 a barrel. So when we're talking about what timelines look like in the history, that's really what we would want you to know. And we want to keep filling you in with information like this because we feel as though we can turn the stats into stories, and that's what people need. We're going to do the homework. We're going to dig into these statistics. You guys are going to make sure that you're interviewing multiple agents so that you can help yourself have a better time, because we definitely want you to save yourself and your friends from 3-star experiences in real estate by going with people that really do their homework and understand how to help you. Thanks all the teammates for joining me this morning to go through a little bit about what we do anyway in our office. And we appreciate you for joining us because this is just like hanging out with us here where we talk about it all day, every day. And you might be one of those people that looks at MLS all day, every day. So hopefully we could connect some dots for you. Have an awesome time.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in.